Hey everyone, happy Tuesday. Thanks for joining me for another craft night with friends. My name is Alyssa Thomas from Penguin and Fish, where we make cute embroidery kits for beginners. And I'm here every weeknight, Monday through Friday at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. And it's a time that we can relax and craft together. So today we are continuing on the Splendid Sampler to quilt along. It's the Splendid Sampler week. This is the second full week of the month is when we work on this project. We are working on the Grandma's Abiding Faith block right here. So I think we might get close to finishing it today, although we'll be doing a lot of trimming, I think. So we started a whole pile of half square triangles yesterday, and we're going to be turning them into these teeny tiny little hourglass blocks. So we have a few more of those to make. And it takes pressing and trimming and all that takes some time, but they're turning out really cute, and I think this is going to be a fun block when we're done. So let's get going. All right, hello everyone. So again, here is where we left off. I got my tools all ready to go. It's the Grandma's Abiding Faith block right there, and we're using my muted colors again. I have this kind of tan and yellow color scheme that I'm working on for this quilt. So where we left off yesterday is we started our little hourglass shapes here. So what we need to do, we made these half square triangles yesterday, and some of them they all have this orange, but some of them have white and some of them have this kind of little patterned cream color. So we have 3 of each left because we've already done one. Both of these came from one. So I'm going to go through that process again. I'm actually going to just do all 3 of these. We did the whole process of one yesterday just because we just only had a little bit of time left, and I wanted to show you guys that I wanted to get through that. Oh, and we have our other pieces cut. So yesterday we had nothing. We picked our colors, chopped up our pieces, and made all these half square triangles and went through one of these hourglass shapes here. So what we need to do, I need to get my pencil again, and let's see, I'm gonna need a ruler here again too. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take one of the ones from our white side and one from the cream side, and we're gonna match those up right sides together with these orange pieces at the opposite side. So one's going to be over here and one's going to be on this side. And we're going to just put those seams together. We're kind of nesting those seams. And then I'm going to draw on the back like we did making the half square triangles. We're going to just draw the diagonal on the back. I'm really trying to get these seams to match up. They feel matched. So I'm going to draw the one line, and we're going to sew on both sides of that line. So we're going to sew a 1/4 inch on this side and then a 1/4 inch on that side. But I'm going to try and let's put all the rest of these together. I want to kind of batch do these other ones. So we can sew them all at once. I'm going to try and match these up right on the table here. Yep, that feels good. And we're drawing our line perpendicular to the seam that's already there. All right, that's good enough. The lines are pretty light, but I'm going to actually be cutting on that line eventually here. I just need to see it just enough to sew on either side. Oh, Terry says hello from beautiful Minnesota. That's where I'm at too. It was just really nice today. Just nice and crisp. A little cooler, but in a lovely way. It did look like it was going to storm for a bit there. I had to go to downtown Minneapolis for a little bit today, and it looked like I was going to be driving into like a big black cloud, but nothing happened. So that's fine with me. I don't need to be driving around in storms, so glad that didn't happen. All right, good enough. That's just going to be our guide. So, all right, I'm going to go to the sewing machine now, and I'm going to sew on one side of all of them, then I'm going to turn them all around and sew on the other side of that diagonal line. And that should yield 6 more of these little fellers here. So we're going to get 2 out of each of these. So we did it with 1 yesterday. So after that, we're going to have to press them all, like how I did this one. And then we're going to have to trim them all, including this one, like we did this one. So a little bit of time doing all that, but after that we should just have all our tiny little pieces ready to sew together. So we'll see how far we get on that today. Keep the iron going, and let's go to the machine. All right, I still have my old leader on that machine. I need to cut more fabric. I just need a chill out day, I think. Do all that sort of stuff. All right, so I'm trying to keep these seams together here. All right, that's our first one. I think we're fine here. My line's kind of veering off, so I'm sort of eyeballing that diagonal a little bit. So I can tell that we're sewing on the bias now. That's when the threads of the fabric, which are usually horizontal and vertical, where they're at an angle. So because we did these half square triangles, I'm now sewing along that angle, and which is called the bias, and that's just stretchier than normal. So I can tell as I sew these and like trying to get these seams together, just feeling the seams, that I'm actually kind of stretching it a little. I don't really want to do that, so something I have to be a little bit aware of. All right, so now we can flip these around, just trimming them all right away. Sometimes I'll just keep sewing with them all attached, but there's not that many. So, all right, so now I'm on the other side. I rotated it, and now I'm on the other side of the line, other side of the diagonal. All right, and I'm going to get this one off the machine right away, too. Let's do that one. I think it's helpful to have my little stiletto while I work with triangles here. It's like a little extra pointy finger that can get down in there, act like a pin a little bit, holding edges down. All right, that's it. All 3 done. Let's put the leader on there and trim. All right. Let's trim these all apart now. Okay, next up, we are going to actually cut along that diagonal line that's already that we drew earlier, that we sewed on either side of. That's actually our cut line now. So I'm going to just move both of these. Ooh, let's get my cutting glove on. Even for the littlest things. I cut some stuff when I was visiting my parents without a cutting glove, and it felt so weird. It felt like, oh my god, I'm going to cut off all my fingers. I just like that extra little bit of safety. There, so we've cut that in half. So we have one of those hourglass blocks on this side, and we also have a second one on this side. So that is just so cool. Gretchen says, I'm still amazed that someone figured this design out. I know, right? These cute little hourglass blocks, like these itty bitty things. Someone at some point had to be like, oh yeah, you do a half square triangle, and then if you put those 2 together and sew the other direction, you get this other cool block. Like, and this is a super traditional block too. So like, 100 years ago they were making it probably yet. Which is just interesting. It'd be cool to like dig into the history of like all the blocks. All right. This orange thread that we're using now works so perfect with this quilt. Like, it's just so pretty. This pale orange. We ran out of my cream, so we're doing the orange now. All right, I'm gonna scooch my extra fabric out of the way, and my one finished one, and actually this guy too. I just want to get my ironing board open so we can press all of these at once. So we are pressing the seams open. So I'm going to just press them all one way. Yeah, they're pressed open, right? Yep. Yeah. So let's, now I have a bazillion of them. Let's press them one way, and then we'll press the seams open after. So I'm just going to hit them all with a little heat. And let's start up here. So I'll come back and open the seam. Ooh, they're looking so cute. They're so sweet. I really have opened up to working this small after working on both of these Splendid Sampler quilts, the first one and the second one here. When we started that first one, I'm like, oh my god, these are so tiny. How are we gonna make all these itty bitty tiny pieces? But now I kind of like it just because it's doesn't take up tons of space. You can use scraps and it just works really well. All right, I'm gonna flip them around because we do want to get that seam open. I think that might be easier. Just let's go diagonal for all of them. I think that'd be the best hand position for me. There, just popping that seam open. Let it sit there while I prep the next one. Probably just let the iron sit on it. Let's do that. You can sit there while I get this next one. Ooh, that scares me a little bit though, just letting the iron sit there. Ah, okay, yeah, that freaks me out. Thought I'd be a little bit faster, but nope. Try this one. All right. Set it down, get two hands out here. There we go. Let's try and get this one right away. Okay. And let's just, might as well get this one from yesterday again too. Cute. Should we get him from the front too? Might as well. All right, so next up, we are gonna trim all these. So we like lose all the edges, and they are a bit big now, so we were able to get a hair extra, or the designer made it so there'd be a tiny bit extra for all of it. Oh, Kimberly says my fingernails look great with the fabric. Did you do that on purpose? I didn't quite do it on purpose, but I'm actively going with the orange for October. I haven't. This is the one color that when I got all new colors, like I threw away all my old nail polish just because it was like years and years and years old and just gross, most of it. So I just like got rid of all of it and then got 4 new colors, and I've been kind of just wearing those but I did keep this color, and I did keep black too. So on Halloween, maybe I'll when we get closer to Halloween, I'll wear my black nail polish, because that's like the one time of the year I'll wear that. But I thought, oh, it's October, I can break out my pretty orange that I kept. I'm a little unsure about it yet, but I think it is kind of nice for October, and it totally does match this project. It's like the perfect orange for this project. All right, so I just got myself a stack here. All right, so we need to trim this, but we need to trim a little bit differently than we do with normal half square triangles, because we do actually need to measure from the center out. because usually with a half square triangle, I can like go anywhere along the line and trim. Like I could cut like 1 millimeter off of this side and like a 1/4 inch off of this side, and I'm gonna end up with a perfect half square triangle. If I did that now, my center point wouldn't be center, so we need to pay attention to that. And we figured it out last night. We need to cut these to, let's just double check, yeah, 1 3/4 inch squares. So the center point, when I do my first cut, needs to be on the 7/8 inch mark, which is right there. So that's kind of what I have the diagonal line here, and I'm going to put that diagonal on my seam, diagonal seam, and then I'm going to get my center point here to be on that 7/8 inch line. And then when I rotate it to cut the other side, I'll just cut the 1 3/4 inch, and that 7/8 should just automatically be in the right spot. But the first cut, I do need to measure that up really well. So this is the part that I think is going to take a bit of time tonight. We're just going to dig right in here. I think I'll even get you guys a little bit lower here so you can see. I whacked the camera last time, so let's see if this helps. All right. So I'm on that diagonal line, and yep, that 7/8 mark has to be right. It's a little hard to see, but I think I'm in the right spot. Yep, all right. Just gonna rotate a little bit so it's an easier cut angle. So we gotta do this 7 times, 8 total, but we did one yesterday, so there. I'm just gonna rotate. I suppose I can just rotate the piece. I don't need to rotate the whole thing. So now if I do 1 3/4 inch, it should just, that 7/8 inch part should just end up on that center, and I think it does. Gosh, it really is. My eyeballs are playing tricks on me a little bit today. So 1 3/4 inch. All right, there we go. Now we got two of these done. I'll just keep them together over here. Just stack them. All right, so 6 more. Get on the diagonal, and then I'm going to slide down till I'm on that 7/8 inch mark. Yeah. Gosh, I just am paranoid about it though. Okay, guess that's right. Whoosh. Okay, and 1 3/4, and I should still be landing on that 7/8 inch. Looking decent. All right, 3. This, I think, is just, we just gotta take our time on this. Let those fuzzles sit. 1 3/4. All right. Halfway. I'm closing my rotary cutter every single time. Just trying to keep those habits going. Paranoid that I'm gonna cut one of these just a little too small, which would be so sad. All right, 3 more. Yay, so after this, all we have to do is kind of assemble everything. All of our smaller parts will be done, like all our smaller assembly, our smaller units. So like these hourglass units will be done, and then it's just, yeah, assembling everything together to make the big thing. Ooh, that feels like I may have cut a little crooked, but we'll just deal with it. I like these. This is that OmniGrid ruler that I really like. First of all, we use it a ton because it's the size of my Splendid Sampler blocks, so it's 6.5 inches. But I do like this little side has this little grid of 1/8 inch marks, which is super helpful. Like in this case where I need to be right on that 7/8 inch mark for the center. Nice. And the lines are so little on it. I feel like with a lot of these rulers, they make the lines so fat, so you can't see like the edge you're trying to line up with that line. Whereas these are little dots and little lines, so it's, I don't know, easier. Okay, this is it. Last cut. Excellent. All right, let's kind of piece this thing together now. Here's all of our hourglass blocks. Let's bring in all of our other pieces. So I'm just gonna pay attention to what we got going on here. Oh, well, it looks like we gotta like do other little sewings to make bigger units, but I'm gonna lay it all out anyway because we're at the stage that we're able to, so we're gonna just peek. How about that? All right, like so. But we are gonna go and we gotta actually sew similar units together, so I'll probably take this apart, but I kind of like peeking midway through. Okay, that's so pretty already. Okay, and ooh, one of those goes in the middle. No, it doesn't. Did I do this wrong already? Oh no, it's, yeah, okay, there we go. Huh. This seems funny because it's small. I guess it is a smaller square than that. All right. Oh, right here goes one of these ones. So I guess we do have to kind of make these corner units yet. But we can still see what things are going to look like. So many pieces. There are just a lot of pieces. It's funny, so this is laying out to be like really big, but it's all gonna snoosh together to like be this 6.5 inch guy when we're done. Boop. All right, and pretty. Okay, I'm really happy with how the colors turned out here. It's just subtle, but really pretty yet, I think. All right, cool. All right, so next up, we need to sew these guys together. So let's just read the instructions. Arrange and sew one B square to our Arrange and sew one B square, 2 hourglass units, and 1 G square. Oh, okay, so they're just saying make those. We're basically making 4 of these, and you know, if we actually rotate all these, they are all it is 4 of the same thing. So I'm going to remove these middle guys. I sometimes like just having them all pointing in the same direction because then we can sew like these 4 top things together and have it all be, you know, we do it exactly the same each time. And same with the bottom row, just because then I can make sure I'm doing everything the same. Okay, so are these all lined up correctly? Yes. Okay, so I'm going to take all of these top rows, the one that's the white with the hourglass, I'm going to sew all those first, all in the exact same way, and then the same with these ones, I'll sew those next. Then we have to press all of them, so we'll get the iron out again for that, and then we're going to have to reassemble it all and sew the side units together. Man, there is kind of a bit going on with this one yet. All right, so let's do that. We'll have to match some seams up yet. So, all right, I'm just flipping that over. That was the right position, right? Yep. Okay. Whoop! Dropped it, so now I gotta check it out again. Yep, like so. That's another good reason on having them all pointed the same direction, that I can just glance back and see if it's still the same. So I am gonna try and match these up well. I think we're good. All right, 1. So much sewing for 6 inches of square. Crazy. We cut up fabric and put it back together. It's just weird. All right. Here's the last grouping of the white square with the hourglass. All right, and then I'm gonna get the, we're moving on to the kind of batik one. So again, these will all be sewn the same. Just kind of grabbing one and folding it over. I think it's okay that I have the hourglass at the bottom. I don't think that's hurting anything. Oops, there, like that. Just gotta remember what side I'm sewing. All right, one more. I gotta find my leader again here. Suppose I could start another one. Now that I have a few scraps here. There, here's a scrap. This can be our new leader. Before I cut up other ones for my leader and ender project. All right, got our little banner of them all together. I always think that's cute, little chain pieced banner. All right, so these ones with the darker color, the batik, get pressed. The seam allowances get pressed in one direction, so I'm going to keep those together. And these ones get pressed in a different direction. Okay, it looks like we're pressing both towards the solid fabric, which makes sense. There's a lot of seams in this hourglass, and it's going to want to just stay in the direction it's going, whereas this is just one floppy piece that can bend however we want. So, okay, makes sense. So let's give all those a press. Yeah, so we're pressing all of them. Oh, hey, let's do our multiple press situation again. That seems to be working well lately. So all of them will have the solid on top. Okay. Get that seam, just kind of set the seam. And then so by doing this, the seams will be pressed in opposite directions once we flip the colorful, the batik one, the bottom row, once we flip all those the opposite direction. So then we can nest the seams together, which will give us our perfect lined up seams, theoretically. Okay, that's that. All right, so let's group some of these together again. There we go. So now we just have to rotate the one with the colorful, the batik. We gotta just rotate those in the opposite directions. And there we go. Now we have our 4 matching groupings again, with the seams pressed in opposite directions now, since we rotated one 180 degrees. So now when we put them together, I'm just going to fold this one to the top, I think. Then we'll be able to nest these seams, which just means like bumping those seams right up against each other there. And you should be able to just feel them match. There we go. There's a lot of fabric in those hourglass blocks, so I feel like I'm feeling those. But I think we'll get it. You could put a pin or something there, but they're so little. That's what I love about all these little baby pieces. You don't need any pins. You're not going that far, and they just kind of stay together when they're this little. Okay, I am going to try and get right where this seam crosses. It should just do that automatically by me sewing a quarter inch, but that's like ideal. And theoretically, I did that on the opposite side with the opposite half square triangle, or hourglass block, I mean. So hopefully that's the case. I'm not really going all out to get those to match. I could put a pin through that seam there where the fabrics all meet, and then like put a pin through there and just try and get that pin nice and even, and that would help make sure that I get those points all lined up, but meh. I'm just gonna sew down the edge, get myself close enough. Ugh, seam's getting bent underneath here. There we go. All right, I think I'm still matched up here. All right, that was our second one. 2 more. There we go. So I'm officially done with all my Supergirls. So I think Seinfeld is up next in TV land here. So that should last a little while, I think. Although those episodes are only 20 minutes long, which is crazy. That they can tell like a whole story and have all this stuff going on in 20 minutes. All right, here we go. This is our last one. So we will, I'm assuming, press these open. Yes, so we'll press the seams open, and then we can do our final assembly here. And I think we'll still have time to do all that tonight, it looks like. Which is great. That means tomorrow we can start another one. Okay. Trim it up. Boop, 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 boop. Okay. I'm just gonna place them all out here again. Let's press the seam allowances to one side, and then I'll come back and press them open. Just kind of, these are really bulky. There's a lot of seams in this. That's not quite perfectly matched, but we're living with it. One of these has got to be just right, I'm hoping. That one's not too shabby. The seams matched up. I think I could have done a better job matching those triangles if I really, 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 really wanted to. But I didn't think that outweighed just pressing it, or just getting it done, I guess. That one too is just a tiny bit off. All in all, not too shabby, I don't think. Let's flip these buggers around. Just gonna press those seams in the opposite directions. Just get them kind of upright. There we go. And now opening him. I'm not doing the one, like I'm trading off. Like I'm not starting with the one I just pressed because I don't want to burn myself. Whereas if I go, that's what's nice about pressing all of these at once. I can kind of go around in the circle, and by the time I get back to the beginning, it's cool enough to hold or to deal with, I guess. Look at all these seams. Such a tiny piece of fabric. This really should only be like 2.5 inches, I think. I mean, isn't that like the smallest pre-cut that you can buy is like 2.5 inches or something? So that's how we've got like a zillion pieces in a size that big. All right, I'm gonna kind of like flip these and we'll just smash them one more time. All right, so they're 4 of the same thing, and now we can rotate them to be exactly where they need to be. So we'll stay on the pressing mat. I think we'll need it again. So let's do it on here. So all right, I'm just gonna rotate them so the batik goes towards the inside. There we go. That's that orange. Oh, good. I thought we lost my middle piece here. There we go. And then we got these long pieces. So at this point, we basically have a 9-patch block. And what I mean by that is it's 3 rows and 3 columns. I mean, these are pretty fancy little blocks, but it's still 1 unit. So 3 units here, 1, 2, 3, and 3 units this way in each column. So all right, so what I'm gonna do is I will sew column 1 and 2 together of each row. So I'll do this one, then this one, then this one. Then I'll take this segment off the machine, sew that guy on, take this segment off the machine, sew that on, and then this guy, just so we can, continuously have something on the machine. And then we gotta press it again, and then we can sew the final rows together and then press again. So a whole pile of pressing yet, but we're going at a good pace. I think we still got this. So all right, first 2 columns together coming up. Okay, so I am going to sew where I can see this here, because then I can kind of see where that seam joins, where it crosses there, and I'm hoping I can kind of aim and get right in there. It's hard to see on the back. Oh wait, there we go. Right here. Because if I can get on there, then at least that point will be pretty good. All right. Hopefully that was fine. I mean, it should just be there in the right spot because I'm just doing my 1/4 inch, but 1/4 inch seam allowance, I'm not always perfect on that. All right, then this guy, this is our middle row. And then our bottom row, I'm going to do the same thing so I can see where that seam crosses. I feel like I got a lot of extra on that one. Maybe my seam allowances are a little too small still. That could be. So when we're done, I'll measure, I'm going to take this first one off. I'm going to measure how big the block ended up being, and that should be another good indicator of if I'm making my seam allowances too big or small. All right, so here's a top piece. Oh yeah, see, so where that perfectly meets, that triangle perfectly meets, the point meets that edge, that's what we're going for. That's why I was trying to get right on where that seam, that arrow kind of points in there, that corner. So there, we got one really good match compared to over here. That wasn't a great. We got a little stair step in there. But this side so far is looking fabulous. All right, let's get the other side on. So that looks right. Make sure everything's rotated correctly, so you don't have that like one block, one square that's rotated wrong in your block. Okay, same thing. I'm gonna aim. I'm not really aiming. I mean, I'm sewing that 1/4 inch, but I am kind of keeping in mind that this is where the seams cross. I do want to get on there if I can. All right, I think we did fine. All right, take the next thing off the machine. All right, that's our middle row. Boop. All right, and our last piece here. Okay, so this is the bottom. Shoop. Sound effects for everything tonight. Ooh, now this is like shallow here. I'm gonna actually just move this down a little bit. Ooh, I do not think that one's gonna be great, but we'll see. All right, let's get a leader on there. Let's see what this looks like. We'll give these all a press. Okay, so we got this guy up here, looking cute. Down here, and then the middle. So these ones we're pressing the seam towards the middle. This one we're pressing outward, and this one we're pressing towards the middle again, just so we have seam allowances going in opposite directions so we can nest the seams together again. I'm just gonna kind of go like so. Get it from the front. Okay, and these ones go outward. Let's see if we did a good job. Zoop. Zoop. Okay, 2, and gosh, it's so fat with seams, this block. It's kind of crazy. That's what happens with all these super detailed pieced blocks, but look how clean and pretty this is looking. I'm gonna love this block, I think. I really like how these fabrics are looking together. All right, now we can sew these. So now we're gonna try and match 2 seams. So we're gonna match this one and this one, which may have to stretch that a hair. And then I also wanna try and match up these triangle points again. So I'm gonna flip this around this way so I can see those points. And we'll see how we do. Now in this case, maybe I should throw a clip in there. I got one, let's just do it. I'm just gonna throw one on this first one just so that stays while I sew up towards it, because we have a little bit more length here now. There. I think that'll do the job. All right, let's do it. Oh, hold on here, you guys. Oh yeah, there. Okay. Zoop. Okay. 2 more seams and we're done. All right, here's that where it crosses. I'm gonna try and get right on there. All right, here's our first matched seam, nested seam. All right, we're there. I want to match up, while my needle's down, I want to try and match up the second seam right here, which it didn't seem like it wanted to go together before, but let's just try and stretch it a little bit. And these seam allowances look a little crazier, but oh well. All right, and then I'm going to aim for here again. Whew, all right, that one felt like work a little bit. All right, so let's, well, I'll pop it back here again so we can clip that one together again. All right, see how we did with matching those seams. Hey, not too bad. This one's maybe a tinsy bit off, but barely at all, and that one is matching up great. So, okay, feeling okay about that. All right, I'm gonna flip this guy up now, and same thing, let's just clip that one seam. Yeah, I think this is turning out super cute too, Noeline. There's moments that you just fall in love with the block. Like, whenever I start a block, some of them I'm like, oh my god, this block's gonna be awesome. And then other ones I'm like, okay, sure. This one's fine. And then with those ones that I'm a little less sure about, like this one maybe, there's always a moment where I'm like, oh, I love it now. I just fall in love with it, and I don't ever expect it. And then it just like hits me. And I think it was when we got to see it laid out the first time, like the colors together, I just think are really kind of sweet. All right, there's our first seam. Match that second. The stiletto is really good for this. Oh, and then that second corner right there. Whew, all right, that's it. Let's press this guy. Hey, we're gonna get done early tonight even. We'll take a look at what the next block is and see what we can do. Maybe we can even give that a little start already. First, we gotta press this. I'm getting a little ahead of myself here. So, all right, I think well, it doesn't really say. Oh yeah, it does. It says press towards the inside. Good. That's where it's gonna want to go because there's so many seams trying to push in one direction. So we're not fighting it. That's good. Pretty. I do want to give it a quick measure. I suspect I'm a little off. Hot. But with the way we're sewing these together with the quilt as you go method, I suspect I'll probably have to add some white around this whole thing anyway. Oh, it turned out so sweet. I was not really expecting with the colors that we picked it to look as nice as how I like it here. All right, let's just see. Oh dang, we are real shy. We are like almost 1/4 of an inch on one side. So dang, I am making my seam allowances way too big. So if your block ends up being smaller than you're expecting it to, then you're making your seam allowances too fat. So there's extra fabric going in the seam allowance part, which takes away from the like block part of it, the real part. So I'm clearly making it a little small, although there's so many pieces in here that like if I just had like 5 pieces going across, I bet you I'd be right on. But like because there's all of these extra little zillions of pieces, there's way more room for error. But yeah, so we'll definitely be adding some white borders to this to get it to work with the quilt as you go process. But ugh, it's so pretty. I like this one. So cute. All right. Yes. And done way earlier than I thought on this one. Just because, I mean, looking at this block, so here's the one from the book, just looking at it just makes me feel like, oh my god, that's going to take forever. There's so many pieces, but dang, just two hours here. Oh gosh, did I get them all in the right spot? Yeah, had a mini panic attack there. All right, I think it turned out pretty cute. All right, I'm crossing that one off. Let's get this list off again. I didn't cross off the ones that we did before, so we're done with this 4 Madge one. I'll get my, I don't have my highlighter. I highlight the ones that I'm done with, but I don't have one here. So this one's done. Now we can cross off Grandma's Abiding Faith. Ooh, we're way down here in the second column. Oh gosh, there's a lot yet though. Okay, next one I have here is In the Hoop. I'm just, when we started this, we kind of jumped around and did kind of whatever we wanted, and now I'm at the point that let's just go down the list and get them all done. So, all right, In the Hoop is page 14, so that probably means it's another pieced one. Okay, this one looks like I haven't done it yet. Oh, dang, okay, definitely have not done this one. I don't remember this one at all doing it. Now, this one has a lot of pieces. Oh my gosh. I think it's got like twice as many pieces as this one. Can you even believe that? Oh my god. Okay. Well, how many days do we have left? Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So 3 days. And, well, let's see if we can get this one done too. That'd be great. Oh, Carol says, I ordered both Splendid Sampler books and they're, waiting at your mom's house for you. Can't wait. Oh, that's awesome. Yay. So I think what's neat about these books, I mean, there's 100 blocks in each of them, right? There's 2 of these, so 200 different blocks, right? I love that you could just kind of pick and choose. Yeah, I mean, I'm doing all of them, right? Because I'm crazy. I know a lot of you guys did both entire books too, and my mom did both entire books as well. And I've learned just so much from doing ones, especially ones that I wasn't so sure about, or that, I need practice on a certain technique. And by doing them, I got way better and learned a ton. But if you didn't want to do all that, by getting both books, you could totally just pick and choose. And I think that would be adorable. You could do all the applique ones, or all the embroidered ones, or all the I don't know, super traditional looking ones, or anyone that looks like it has a bird or an animal in. It'd be just really fun. Okay, bloop, doop, 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 doop. All right, we have, oh dang, there's a lot of different reds here. I wonder if that's on purpose. Let's see. What you'll need, we'll need a blue print, green print, red print. Oh, there are 2 red prints. I don't think it needs to be though. It all kind of looks like it blends together, doesn't it? Okay, red print number 1, red print number 2, and the yellow print. Why are there 2 different reds, I wonder? Let's see if there's something in here. As an 8-year-old at school, this one's by Jane Davidson, so she's one of the authors of the book. It's 2 authors. It's Jane Davidson and Pat Sloan, and then they recruited a whole pile of designers to contribute to the book. And one of my blocks, I got to be a designer in the first book, so this is the second book. So in the first book, if you get that one of mine will be in there. But yeah, so this is by Jane Davidson. As an 8-year-old, I was taught to make a small tablecloth using gingham and a large cross stitch. This was my introduction to embroidery, which I've loved ever since. Now I collect antique tablecloths and doilies, cherishing the work of their unknown crafters and wondering what their lives were like as they placed their work in a hoop and stitched. Oh, that's cute. So this is representing a cross stitch almost, it looks like. Okay, so I really don't see any design reason that we need 2 different reds. Red prints 1. I mean, I don't even really see a difference here. And we don't have 2 different blues. So I think I'm going to just simplify this. I think I'm just going to do red. I'm just going to call it red. Because wouldn't that be weird, like having a couple different little red pieces in here when the blue doesn't have any? That seems kind of weird. But we'll see. Fine. Let's, well, I guess we don't really have that much time left, so I think we'll just probably stop there, but this is what we'll work on tomorrow. We'll pick colors right away. I think we just need the one red. Let me know what you guys think, and you can tell me tomorrow, but like, so if you look really closely, there's like these flowers, there's like a cross of flowers, and that's one color red, and then all this other stuff is a different color red, but they didn't do that with the blue. The blue is all just one blue. So I don't know, does that seem weird? I think it's weird. So I think I'm gonna just do one red, blue, and then green and yellow. And it won't be those colors. We're gonna go with our muted colors again, because that's the theme of my quilt, these muted colors. So that's the deal. Oh, what book am I using? This is the Splendid Sampler 2. I'll show you guys over on TikTok here. So the Splendid Sampler 2, it is on Amazon. I should put a link to it at some point here. But yes, so it's 100 different blocks by, I think, about 80 different designers. And there's two different books. So it's the Splendid Sampler and then the Splendid Sampler 2. They've just done another book, so that's the second one. The first book I have a block in of my own. I was one of the designers for that one, but the second one I'm just doing. It's good practice for quilting all these blocks, for sure. I feel like when I started the first Splendid Sampler, when I started these books, I felt, I know I've talked about this, but I felt like I could kind of hold my own in a room of quilters, like I would know what they're talking about. And I would have maybe tried a technique or two once or twice. But man, after doing both of these books, and after doing the first book, really, I feel like I know a ton. I feel like I know so many techniques as far as quilting and making these blocks go, and tricks, and just hanging out with everyone here on the lives has helped so much with that. Here, I'll flip you guys up. So I feel like that's just helped a ton. Yeah, with all your tips and tricks and everything too that I'm hearing from everyone. And yeah, I feel like I'm super pro now. I know I'm not. I know I keep learning all the different techniques. It's practice, it's learning. And I know there's specialists that specialize in every single one of these techniques. But dang, I for sure feel light years ahead of where I was. And that's awesome. I feel like I have the ability now that if I did come up with an idea, I would be able to execute it, because I can do these techniques now, which is just cool. And I'm always trying to learn and practice new stuff. So that's what I love more than anything, is just learning more stuff, trying new things. And these books are a great opportunity to do that with. So all right, you guys, we will pick up that in the hoop block. We will start that tomorrow. I'm hoping we can finish that one yet. It is a pile of tiny little pieces, but I don't think we have all the process that we do with these hourglass. So these hourglass, these little baby blocks here, those did kind of take some time. Like there was a lot of process to that. So I think we'll be able to skip that with this block, because this just looks like a lot of little pieces that we sew together. I'm excited. Another piece block. That's good. That's a good way to deal with the week. Just some nice piece blocks, getting them done and out of the bag. Hopefully we have two more finished blocks by the end of the week here. Competence and confidence building. There you go, Carol. Exactly that. That's what these books are. Okay, you guys, I think that's that for tonight. I will see you tomorrow here again at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. And yeah, we'll scooch ahead on that next block. So have a great evening. I'll see you tomorrow. Good night.